So recently, I just opened myself the rarest current pet in Grow a Garden. And do you want to know what that pet is? Well, if I walk inside my plot, you could probably see her right there. She's just floating around all majestically. Yes, I am talking about the Queen Bee, the 1% drop from the new bee egg released in the Busy Bee update. And she is absolutely fantastic with what her ability does. Now, I made a video on all the new bee pets and what they did, but let's do a little refresher on what she actually does. So, if we click view, this is her abilities. Every 24 minutes and 48 seconds, a nearby fruit gets magically pollinated and applying the pollinating mutations. And then the second passive that she has is every 29 minutes and 48 seconds, a random pet will refresh its cooldown. Meaning that, for an example, the dragonfly will be able to use its ability to make a crop golden twice once the queen bee uses her passive. Which, imagine the pairing. The raccoon and the queen bee allows you to steal more fruits, and maybe even like the chicken zombie, you're able to get zombified at a higher rate. The queen bee pairs up very well with other pets. Now, I didn't just come here to flex on you guys with my new queen bee pet. I'm actually going to show you guys some methods on how you can get the queen bee quickly and efficiently. Now, in the end, it is RNG, so you might not get it, but these tips will help you. So the first tip that I recommend you guys doing is to actually start planting tons of coconuts. Why? Well, that's because it has higher chances of being pollinated since there's so many coconuts on one tree, and every single coconut, whether it's small or large, will always be 10 kilograms. So as you just saw, that tiny coconut is 10.02 kilograms, which is the amount you need to compress it into honey. The next tip is to actually have an alt account that you could give the pollinated fruits from your main onto the alt, so you guys can both compress honey at a quicker rate to buy more eggs, since you have to wait 3 minutes per compression and you only get 10 honey at a time. And then the third tip is once you have the bee eggs, you could use pets like the kiwi or the chicken jockey to speed up the hatching process, since the eggs take around 4 to 5 hours to actually hatch by themselves. The next tip is to use ants when you're picking up your coconuts or whatever plants you have that are pollinated, because it actually duplicates that plant and duplicates the mutations alongside it. And then finally, if you don't have an alt account or you don't want to stay on your computer to start turning in your pollinated plants to on it so you could compress the honey, you could actually create a macro to buy the items from the queen bee and to turn in pollinated plants, which I will make a video on very soon. And that's basically it. So that's the queen bee showcase and some tips on how to get her. Tell me if you've gotten the queen bee so far, or if you haven't, how many bee eggs have you opened? Let me know. And as always, it doesn't hurt to follow.